Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever really thought about what makes someone a true master? I mean, is it just being incredibly good at something?
Or is there something more, like a deeper layer of understanding, almost like playing psychological chess?
Exactly. It feels like true mastery often involves manipulating how people see things, really getting human nature,
Yeah.
maybe even setting your own rules.
Right. And that brings us perfectly to today's topic.
Today, we're diving deep into Der Meisterdieb, the master thief. It's a classic German folktale, and honestly, it's just a fantastic case study in unbelievable, audacious cunning.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission here in this deep dive isn't just to tell the story again. We want to really dissect the brilliant strategies behind these heists that seem completely impossible.
And to understand that weird code he lives by, it's unusual.
Definitely. And ultimately uncover what this, timeless story can tell us about real ingenuity and, frankly, deception.
Okay, so where does it start?
Well, the story opens really simply, almost like a painting. You've got this old, poor farming couple just taking a break from work.
Humble beginnings.
Totally. Then suddenly, this grand carriage pulls up. 4 black horses, the works. And out steps this very richly dressed stranger.
Okay, so immediately you're thinking contrast.
Right.
Rich, stranger, poor couple.
Right. But what's really striking, what gets you thinking straight away, is his first request. It's not what you'd expect.
Yeah, it's telling, isn't it? He doesn't ask for, like, a lord's welcome or a fancy meal.
No. He asks for potatoes, just simple potatoes cooked exactly how the old couple would eat them, and he wants to sit at their table and eat with them.
That's disarming. It creates this unexpected connection right off the bat. He's trying to bridge that gap, maybe.
Maybe. So while the wife goes to make potato dumplings, the farmer takes the stranger out to the garden. He's planting trees, and here the farmer mentions something sad.
The backstory.
Yeah, he talks about a son he had. Clever, cunning even, but just ungovernable, wouldn't learn, always in trouble. Eventually, he just ran away. Haven't heard from him since.
That hangs in the air.
It does. And then, as the farmer is tying a young sapling to a stake, to make it grow straight, the stranger points to this old, gnarled, bent tree over in the corner.
Okay.
And he asks, basically, why don't you tie that one up? Straighten it out.
And the farmer's response is key, right? It's the analogy.
Exactly. The farmer kind of smiles and says, you speak as you understand. That tree is old and gnarled. No one can straighten it anymore. Trees must be trained while they are young. It's profound.
And it's directly about the son. Even if the farmer doesn't fully realize it in that second, it's this perfect, almost accidental commentary on what happened.
And boom, the power of that hits home like immediately after. The stranger asks, would you even recognize your son now? The father says, probably not by face, but he mentions a birthmark. Shoulder, shaped like a bean.
Here it comes.
Yep.
The stranger just takes off his coat, bares his shoulder, and there's the birthmark. It is their son. He's back, and he's clearly wealthy.
Wow. Imagine that moment for the parents. The sheer joy, the shock.
But then the other shoe drops, the confession. It changes everything.
Right. Because the son admits it. He says, basically, the young tree wasn't tied up, it grew crooked, and I became a thief.
Talk about an emotional roller coaster. Joy, shock, and then
Right.
this. How do you even process that? Your lost son is back, successful, but a thief.
It really puts you in the parent's shoes. Pride mixed with this deep unease, maybe even shame.
But he's quick to clarify. He says, I'm not just any thief.
The qualifier.
He insists he's a master thief,
Right.
and he has this code, a very specific set of rules he follows.
Okay, let's hear it. This is fascinating.
He says he only takes from the excess of the rich. He never steals from the poor. In fact, he claims he prefers to give to them.
So, a kind of Robin Hood figure, or at least that's the image he's projecting. Sort of. And crucially, he adds that he won't touch anything he can get without effort, cunning, and dexterity. It has to be a challenge.
That code, it's really something, isn't it? It reframes everything. It's almost like he's creating his own ethical system, justifying his actions, makes him seem less like a common criminal, more like a master.
Definitely. It's a smart strategy, too. Probably gets him some public sympathy, maybe. Distances him from, desperate thieves.
Makes sense. How do the parents take that?
Well, the father is still deeply unhappy. He basically says, look, a thief is a thief. This isn't going to end well.
Yeah, can't blame him.
But the mother, she cried with joy seeing him. And yeah, she cries again hearing he's a thief. But ultimately, she's just glad he's back.
Understandable. The relief must be huge.
So they all sit down and share that simple meal of potatoes. And you just picture it, the rich son in his fine clothes, eating peasant food with his parents. The contrast is stark.
Quite a scene.
So after this intense reunion, the father warns him, says, the local count, he's not going to be happy if he finds out who you are and what you do.
Sensible advice. Lay low.
But the son, nope. He's confident, almost defiant. He says, basically, actually, I'm planning to go see the count tonight.
Whoa. Okay, that's bold. Arrogant even. Walking right into the lion's den.
Totally. He gets in his fancy carriage, drives straight to the castle. The count receives him politely at first, thinking he's some visiting nobleman.
Oblivious.
And then the thief just tells him, reveals who he really is, and the count apparently goes pale, just silent for a moment.
I bet. What happens then? Arrest him on the spot.
You'd think so, but here's another twist, a really big one. The count reveals he's the thief's godfather.
No way. Seriously.
Yeah. So because of this connection, this godfather thing, the count offers him a path. Not immediate punishment, but mercy with a catch.
Okay, there's always a catch.
The count challenges him. Prove you're as good as you say you are. Prove this master thief title isn't just talk. If you succeed, you're spared.
And if he fails?
If he fails, the count uses this grim phrase. He'll marry the rope maker's daughter, and the cawing of ravens will be his music.
Oof. Hanging. Got it. High stakes.
Extremely high. But the master thief, he accepts right away, no hesitation. Tells the count, bring it on. Devise 3 tasks, make them as hard as you want.
Wow. Confident. Or maybe just knows he has no other choice.
Could be both. So this sets up the core of the story, right? The real test of his skills. 3 tasks that seem absolutely impossible.
This is what we came for.
Okay, so the count thinks for a bit, then lays them out. Task number 1, steal my favorite horse right out of the stable.
Okay, tough. Stables are usually guarded.
Task number 2, even harder maybe. Steal the bed sheet from under me and my wife while we're asleep. Oh, and also take my wife's wedding ring right off her finger without us noticing.
That's incredibly intimate and difficult. Wow.
And task 3, the grand finale, steal the pastor and the sacristan from the church.
Steal people.
Yeah.
From a church. Okay, the count isn't messing around.
Not at all. The thief's life is absolutely on the line here.
All right, heist number 1, the horse. How does he even start?
He's smart. He knows brute force won't work, so his first move is disguise. He goes to town, buys some old peasant woman's clothes, dyes his face brown, paints wrinkles on it. Total transformation. Unrecognizable.
Clever. Blend in, appear harmless. What else?
His main tool, not a lockpick, not a weapon. It's a small barrel of old Hungarian wine.
Ah, but there's a trick, right?
Of course. He's mixed a really potent sleeping draft into it. Again, it's about subtlety, incapacitation, not fighting.
Classic move. Disarm them with apparent kindness. Like the potatoes earlier.
Exactly. So night falls, he shuffles up to the castle looking like this frail old woman, coughing, rubbing her hands like she's freezing. The soldiers guarding the stable feel sorry for her, invite her over to their fire to warm up.
And she just happens to have some wine to share.
Precisely. She offers it around, and, well, you can guess what happens.
They drink it. They're out like lights.
Yeah.
The soldiers outside, fast asleep. So the old woman carries her little barrel into the stable. More guards inside. One's actually sitting on a horse, saddled up. Another's holding the reins. A third's holding the tail. Super vigilant.
But not vigilant enough against drugged wine.
Nope. They drink too. They fall asleep too. One slumped over holding the reins. One holding the tail. One actually asleep in the saddle.
Okay, getting the horse out now seems possible. But what about the guy on the horse? Can't just dump him off. That'd make noise.
Right. This is where his, genius for detail comes in. First, the easy bits. He takes the reins from the sleeping guard's hand, replaces them with a piece of rope he finds, takes the horse's tail from the other guard, replaces it with a whisk of straw. So they're still holding something.
That's brilliant and slightly insulting.
Totally. But the guy in the saddle, here's the masterstroke. He sees ropes hanging from rings on the wall. He unbuckles the saddle girth, ties the ropes to the saddle itself.
Wait, is he going to? Yep. He hoists the sleeping guard, still in the saddle, right up into the air. Ties him off to a post, suspended.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. Efficient, quiet, and kind of hilarious. Talk about adding insult to injury for the count.
It's a total power move, disguised as efficiency. And one last detail for the getaway.
Let me guess. Something for the hooves.
You got it. Wraps the horse's hooves in old rags, muffles the sound on the stone courtyard, then he just leads the horse out carefully, mounts it, and gallops off.
Flawless execution, every angle covered.
And the next morning, he doesn't hide. He rides the stolen horse right up to the castle, calls out to the Count who's looking out his window.
The sheer audacity.
The Count sees his favorite horse, then presumably sees his guards, one hanging in midair. The story says he just bursts out laughing. He has to admit, okay, round one goes to the thief, but he warns him the second time won't be so easy.
I bet he doubles security after that display.
Oh, yeah. Challenge 2. The bedsheet and the ring. This one's way more personal, way more risky.
Inside the Count's own bedroom, while they're asleep. Seems impossible.
The Count thinks so, too. He locks every single door. The Countess is told to clench her hand tight around the ring, and the Count himself lies awake, pistol ready, vowing to shoot if the thief even tries the window.
Okay, so direct entry seems suicidal. What's the angle here? It has to be psychological again, right?
Bingo. This isn't about stealth in the traditional sense. It's about manipulating the Count and Countess directly. And his key prop this time is, well, it's pretty grim.
Uh-oh, what is it?
He goes to the gallows, cuts down the body of a recently hanged man, a poor sinner, the text calls him.
Whoa, okay. That's dark. He carries the body back to the castle.
Yep. Puts a ladder up against the Count's bedroom window, hoists the dead body onto his shoulders, and starts climbing.
So the body's head appears at the window first.
Exactly. The Count sees the silhouette, thinks it's the thief, bang, fires his pistol.
Hits the body, presumably.
Right. The thief immediately drops the corpse, scrambles down the ladder, and hides in a corner watching.
Clever. The Count thinks he shot the intruder.
Precisely. And it's a moonlit night, so the thief can see everything clearly. He watches the Count climb out the window, come down the ladder, pick up the body, carry it into the garden.
And start digging a grave, thinking he's secretly disposing of the thief?
This is the moment, the exact window the thief created, while the Count is busy burying the wrong man.
The thief goes up the ladder and into the bedroom, where the Countess is.
Yes. Swiftly, silently.
Yeah.
And then he speaks, but he impersonates the Count's voice.
Well, that's bold. What does he say?
He says something like, "My dear wife, it's all right. The thief is dead. I shot him." Then he adds this whole story about how, the thief was his godson, more rogue than villain, and out of pity for the parents, he wants to bury him secretly in the garden himself to avoid shame.
And the Countess buys it. Thinks it's her husband whispering in the dark.
Completely. She's probably relieved, maybe a bit shaken. So then the thief, still pretending to be the Count, says, "Quick, give me the bedsheet so I can wrap the body."
And she hands it over. Unbelievable.
But he's not done. He pushes his luck even further. He adds, oh, in a moment of fake generosity, the poor fellow risked his life for this. Let him take your wedding ring to the grave with him.
No. He asks for the ring, too. While pretending to be her husband planning a secret burial, that takes some serious nerve. And understanding of psychology playing on pity, secrecy, maybe even the Countess's trust in her husband.
Apparently she's reluctant, but she does it. Takes off the ring, hands it over to the man she thinks is the Count. The thief grabs the sheet and the ring, slips back out the window, down the ladder, and gets away clean. He's home safe before the Count even finishes filling in the hole in the garden.
That is masterful manipulation. Just incredible.
So the next morning, imagine the Count's face. The thief shows up, bold as brass, holding the bedsheet and the ring.
The Count must be absolutely floored. How does he even react?
The story says he's just baffled, asks the thief if he can do magic, if he can hex, or if he literally rose from the dead.
Huh. Because he thinks he buried him.
Exactly. And the thief just calmly explains, "Nope, you buried that poor sinner from the gallows, not me."
Completely turning the Count's world upside down, showing him how easily he was fooled.
The Count has to concede again. He admits the thief is incredibly clever, cunning, but he reminds him, you still have the third task.
Right. Stealing the pastor and the sacristan from the church. This one feels different. How do you steal people?
This is where the thief really leans into theater.
Yeah.
Pure psychological performance art.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's his plan?
He goes back at night, his props this time, a long sack, a bundle of short wax candles, and a lantern. And crabs.
Crabs, like the crustaceans. What on earth for?
Get this. He takes the crabs out of his sack, glues a lit wax candle to the back of each one, and sets them loose, crawling around the churchyard.
Wait, so it looks like little wandering lights. Spirits, maybe.
Exactly. Creates this eerie, supernatural effect, like the dead are walking the graveyard. Just like in his later speech. It sets the mood perfectly, disorients anyone watching.
That is bizarrely brilliant. Okay, what next? Disguise again?
Oh, yeah. Big time. Puts on a long black gown, like a monk's cowl. Glues a big gray beard to his chin, totally unrecognizable. Then he waits.
For midnight.
Right on cue.
Yeah.
As the clock finishes striking 12, he climbs up into the church pulpit and just bellows in this loud, piercing voice.
What does he yell?
It's pure fire and brimstone. Hear ye, sinful people, the end of all things has come. Judgment day is near. Whoever wants to go to heaven with me, crawl into this sack. I am Peter, keeper of the gates. Look, outside, the dead walk and gather their bones. Come, crawl into the sack. The world is ending.
Oh my God, that's terrifying. Especially with the weird crab lights outside.
Exactly. It's a full sensory assault designed to induce panic and exploit religious belief. And who lives nearby and hears all this commotion?
The pastor and the sacristan?
They come into the church, probably freaked out by the lights already. They listen to this sermon for a bit. And the sacristan actually says to the pastor, hey, maybe this is legit, an easy way for us to get into heaven before the rush.
He convinces the pastor. They fall for it.
Yeah. Hook, line, and sinker. The pastor agrees. It's their chance.
So they actually get into the sack, willingly.
Yep. The sacristan politely insists the pastor go first, of course. Pastor crawls in. Sacristan follows. The master thief immediately ties the sack shut tight.
Incredible. Fear and the promise of salvation are powerful motivators.
Absolutely. Then the thief starts dragging the heavy sack down the pulpit stairs. And with every bump, as their heads hit the steps, he shouts.
What did he shout?
Now we're going over the mountains.
Oh, that's just cruel and hilarious.
He keeps it up, drags them through the village. When they go through puddles, he yells, now we're going through the wet clouds.
He's narrating their trip to heaven.
Totally. And finally, as he drags them up the stairs of the Count's castle, he proclaims, now we're on the stairway to heaven. We'll soon be in the antechamber.
Where does he leave them?
This is the final touch. He hauls the sack up and shoves it into the castle's dovecote. Pigeons everywhere, obviously. As the pigeons start fluttering around, startled, he calls out, do you hear how the angels rejoice and beat their wings? Then he bolts the door and leaves them there.
Convinced they're in heaven, surrounded by angels, which are actually pigeons,
Yeah.
in a birdhouse. That is peak performance art right there.
Absolutely stunningly executed.
So the next morning, the final reckoning.
The master thief goes to the Count, calmly announces, third task, done, completed. The Count asks, okay, where are they?
And the answer must have been gold.
Simple and baffling. The thief just says, oh, they're up in the dovecote, in a sack. And they think they're in heaven.
The Count has to go see this for himself, surely.
He does. Goes up, finds the sack, the fluttering pigeons, unties it, and out tumble the very confused, very much not in heaven pastor and sacristan.
What a reality check for them.
Yeah. So all three tasks are done. Impossible feats, all accomplished through cunning, disguise, psychology, theater.
The Count has no choice now, right? He has to admit defeat.
He does. He finally acknowledges the thief's skill is unparalleled, calls him an arch-thief, basically the ultimate master thief, and admits, you've won. You beat the challenges.
So he's free, spared.
Yes, but there's still a consequence. The Count keeps his word. His life is spared for now, but he issues a decree.
Which is?
Get out of my lands now. And if you ever set foot here again, the Count warns, you can count on going straight to the gallows. No more chances.
Fair enough, I suppose. He proved his point, maybe pushed his luck far enough.
Seems that way. So the master thief says goodbye to his parents one last time, takes his wealth, and just journeys off into the wide world.
And is never heard from again. Leaves behind only the legend.
Exactly. His story becomes this incredible tale.
So wrapping this up, what have we really seen in this deep dive?
Well, we've definitely seen a character with just astonishing cunning, incredible resourcefulness.
And a real knack for psychological warfare. It wasn't just about lockpicking or sneaking.
Not at all. He was a master strategist, an illusionist, an improviser when needed, using drugged wine, hoisting sleeping guards, using a dead body as a decoy.
Right, and that whole fake Judgment Day with the crabs and candles, his methods were just as audacious as they were effective. He wasn't just stealing things.
No, he was stealing belief. He created these elaborate illusions, these scenarios that people walked right into, often participating in their own deception.
Yeah, the tale really hammers home how easily our perception can be manipulated, doesn't it? Especially when someone combines clever planning with a deep read on human nature, our fears, our desires.
It makes you think about that line between skill and deceit. His code, only stealing from the rich, giving to the poor, needing that challenge. Does that set him apart? Does it give him some kind of weird, illicit moral high ground?
It's a gray area for sure. It complicates how we judge him compared to just a common criminal. Is it the skill, The lack of violence, the cope.
Which leads us to a final thought, maybe for you listening. In this story, what really defines a master thief? Is it just the jaw-dropping skill? Or is it something more, that ability to manipulate reality itself? And thinking beyond folktales, what kind of cunning, what kind of mastery of perception do you think is truly masterful in navigating our own complex world today?